Welcome to the official launch of M.E.E.T Mondays. In case some of y'all may not know, M.E.E.T stands for Music, Engagement, Experience, and Togetherness. I am Cass Butler. My husband, Cedric, also known as the collectively, we are DemButlers. The kitchen is open. The bar is open. They will be coming around taking drink orders. Respectfully, they did want it to be known that they're not trying to be offensive, but we're expecting a large crowd. So when they do bring you the bill to pay before you get your food or drink, they're not being rude. They're just trying to keep up and don't lose anyone and don't get left an unpaid bill. So please, that's just not how it normally is. We all are kind of used to after we eat and drink, then they bring you the bill. But we are expecting between 50 and 60 people throughout the evening, and they don't want to lose anyone. So initially right now, our goal is to bring together trusted professionals, newcomers, retirees, future expats, immigrants, foreigners, whatever your word is that you would like to use, longtime residents to create meaningful conversations and valuable connections. You guys, the whole floor is ours, but we do have seating up front. No one's going to call on you and pick on you. You will not be on YouTube. It'll just be for the attorneys up here. So if you're hiding out or no one's supposed to know that you're in Panama, you're good. You're good, okay? It'll just be on the attorneys up front. Until about 4:30, this is going to be, like I said, a very light meet and greet. And then the attorneys will come up front. And I do ask that all the attorneys and their assistants do come to the front. And then we will allow them to do introductions and to explain exactly what their firm specializes in. And then the official networking event will begin at 5 o'clock. However, no one is glued to your seat. You need to use the facilities. The men is here. The women is at the other side by the other light. And you do have rooftop access for those that have not seen the beautiful Panamanian skyline views here at the Julian. So again, I'm Cass, this Dub. Welcome to M.E.E.T Mondays. Please get to know someone, shake a hand. You will have time after the attorneys speak to actually sit down and talk to some of them. Let's remember, the attorneys are volunteering their time here. This is not a personal consultation. If you would like to book time on their calendar, they do have access to their WhatsApp, their business cards, their websites. You are welcome to book one-on-one time with any attorney after they have done their actual information piece, okay? Everybody understand? This isn't hemming up getting free legal advice for an hour. All right, we appreciate it. So please get to know someone, and at about 4:30, 4:45, we'll have the attorneys come up front. Thank you. 4:30? 4:45. We got to give them all time to get here. They're still here.
Oh, I never thought you. I you told you love from me. Oh, my email. Just let me. You're always on my mind. Want my can't you see? The one I need. You're ready. And time tonight, you see. Yeah, we talked. Okay. You're welcome. She's uncomfortable speaking to everybody in English. Girl, please.
Just, I want to make sure that the independent lawyer, Tamara, hasn't gotten past me. Just want to make sure I'm not overlooking her. Okay, that's all. If I can start having the attorneys and their assistants and their paralegals all start coming to the front, if you don't mind. Come to the front table. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So as I did mention, my name is Cass. This is Meet Mondays, offered to us the fourth Mondays of the month. The one thing that Dub and I are continually asked, and we all realize this, nobody's immigration process cannot begin without a good legal firm. You can come here, you can visit, you can fall in love. Come on, it's very laid back. You can see things, you can find your condo, you can go find Reba Smith, you can see that they have Heinz ketchup. You can do everything that you need to do, but if you don't have a good legal team, you can't get here. I mean, you just can't get here. So one of the first things and one of the first meets that we wanted to begin with was the immigration team. And even beyond that, what many people do not realize is that many of these professionals also specialize in more than just immigration. And so we would like to give you a time to be able to hear from them and allow them to introduce themselves and to speak in regards to what their firm offers and what they specialize in. Please, as I did state earlier, this is not a free consultation 101. If you are intrigued and you would like to book personal time with any of the law firms or their team, you may do that after the 6 o'clock meeting and get on their calendar and be able to discuss that with them. Okay? So I'm going to first start. They have a mic down here. We're going to start with I don't want to introduce her. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, but allow her to introduce herself, the name of their firm, her team, and what type of specialties that their firm actually starts with. Go ahead. It's on.
Okay, I'm with Attorney Carol Gonzalez. She is the Panamanian attorney. I'm retired U.S. Army. And together we've got 6, 7 attorneys specializing in immigration, civil, criminal law. Okay, sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Everybody hear me? All right, so we specialize helping veterans, and then with immigration, criminal, and civil is actually her specialty. And then we got a full team of attorneys for corporations and foundations.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. First thing is we say thanks for the invitation. Thanks, God, because He gave me the opportunity to share experience probably with you and you with us too. And then welcome to the attorneys here in this meeting. And we'll be more than happy to answer questions regarding processes, anything that you have any doubts about Relocate to Panama.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm waiting on Tamara, who's in the elevator, so
She's in the elevator? Okay, so we're going to wait on Tamara. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Adrián. I am founding partner of the law firm Privé Legal. Basically, my specialty is everything regarding to estate planning, the creation of trust, asset protection. I'm here with my colleague. She's back there, Sabrina. She does everything related to scouting Panama, relocation, real estate, and a little bit of immigration as well. So anything regarding estate planning and asset protection, wills, medical proxies, anything you need, you can let me know.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Marcos Jimenez. You may know me. I'm part of the CLP Asociados Abogados team. I'm going to speak on behalf of all my team. We are like 7 people working in the office. We deal with different kind of process, immigration process, companies, any subject regarding legal stuff in the Republic of Panama, we can do it. So later on, we will explain how our services are, and
Go ahead.
feel free to contact me. Come close to me and ask whatever question you have. Okay.
Can you introduce who's next to you, please, Marcos?
Right. Part of my team is our director, this beautiful lady, Ciria López. She's a little bit sick today, so I'm gonna try to explain along whatever she needs to explain to you. I will do it for you guys.
So she is the C of the CLP
Yeah.
Associates, okay, in case you didn't pick that up. Okay,
Okay.
and I believe that the independent lawyer is here now. Go right ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tamara Fernandez. I'm Panamanian. I'm a Panamanian lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 12 years. And he is Ryan Bullock, my partner.
Hi, I'm Ryan Bullock. I am a U.S. lawyer. I'm also Tamara's husband. And I've been in Panama for most of the last 20 years. But we've and with Tamara all of that time as well, but we founded the Independent Lawyer together a few years ago with a focus on residency, real estate, and relocation services. So residency, basically immigration work, helping people obtain residency in Panama, either because they're already here or because they're making plans to move to Panama in the near future, or we're seeing a lot more people that are looking at Panama as sort of a plan B, that want second and even third residencies in different parts of the world as sort of a hedge against a world that seems like it's going crazy a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. So the most that we do is residencies. We do all kind of visas. And the second thing we do is real estate transactional work. We represent sellers and buyers once they are ready to invest in Panama.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then relocation is kind of a catch-all. So we review lease agreements in our office. We're a 10-person team, 4 Panamanian attorneys, apart from Tamara. We review lease agreements. We set up corporations for new businesses, for asset holdings. We can help people open bank accounts, private interest foundations. We can even help our clients get their driver's license. But they're all sort of ancillary services around relocating to Panama, getting established in Panama.
Thank you so much. So just in case some had a hard time hearing, just want to give you just a recap. Carol Gonzalez's team, these are just some of their specialties: immigration, real estate, corporation, civil law, and criminal law. Hopefully that's one side that none of us ever have to see. CLP Associates, asset protection, wealth planning, corporate structures, international business, taxes, businesses, criminal law, and immigration as well. Marcos Jimenez, paralegal, immigration processing, labor law, and any type of residency compliance. Tamara Fernandez, also known as the independent lawyer, immigration, relocation planning, business formation, investor services. And then we have Adrián Herrera. This is the part that some of us never like to think about, but unfortunately, I don't think any of us are vampires, so we will not live forever. So we do need to have some estate planning, trust, wills, asset protection, succession planning, and he's also here with a business partner that can also help you with any type of real estate relocation that you may be interested in, how everybody does not understand the neighborhoods, and you have a hard time locating properties. And then we have William Pauly. He's also with the Gonzalez law firm. He's a veteran. He can assist you with veteran relocation, residency assistance, apostles, and any type of transition support that veterans may need themselves. So, a full panel. All right, so here we go. I'm going to get started here. This question is for Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Carol, what are the most common mistakes that you find that most Americans, in particular from the USA, I do realize Panama is part of the Americas, make before beginning the immigration process? What has been some of the things you have found that they have been totally confused about and has held them up?
Okay. In my experience, I have people who they contact me once they're already in Panama. They don't contact me like before, or they don't investigate in the right way because they go into websites, they go into Facebook, and then they come into Panama, they're trying to do the process by their own. So when they contact me, they give me the wrong papers, and then we have to reorganize everything to bring the right papers so I can do the process. That is one of the common mistakes that they do. And
No, go ahead.
So just to help her, what she's trying to say is when you're out there and you're looking at Facebook and everything, when you're out there and you're looking at Facebook and all that, you're going to get a lot of good information. You need to contact the attorney that you're looking for.
Yeah, it's the button.
It's on.
Hello?
There you go.
All right. Okay. All right. So contact your attorney. Whichever attorney you're working with, get all the specifics from them. Do not go after you got the logistics or the meat and butter, as you would say, of what you need. Then you start working with your attorney. Doesn't matter which attorney, but get the documents they need. What they will guide you through, whether it's an FBI background check, marriage certificate, everything else, they're going to let you know because every case is different. If you got a child, if you're an adopted child, you don't have full custody, there's different documents. You have to get with the attorney to get the right documents. We've had clients show up with an LES. Who's military in here? Y'all know what an LES, right? Mm-hmm. We've had clients show up with an LES. That is not your proof of income letter. So you have to work with your attorneys. Okay?
Thank you.
That's the biggest mistake they make, is doing everything by Facebook and then showing up with the wrong documents.
I appreciate that.
another mistake that is very common here is when the persons, from different part of the world, they try to relocate to Panama and they purchase a property and they didn't win in the process. They would like to do the process, but they do that after they purchase a property here in Panama. After they take decisions like that, they realize they purchased a property in the wrong way, in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. Or they didn't have the process done or even started the process. And sometimes the process is not done for several reasons because not everybody has the same situations for relocate. For example, once they want to do a process with the pensionado, another we like to do a process with the city investment, another one's property purchase. And then the process takes time. It's not like the pensionado would take only 3 to 4 months. And if the process go perfect from the beginning to the end, if immigration don't require another documentations, because it's very common in the private pensions that immigrations always require something else. And so that is very common stuff happen. And then clients, future clients, they contact us to see how we can resolve that kind of problems. But this is very common situations that I find in this career.
And so, no, go ahead, William.
Just one more. Okay, this is because I saw this one on the internet, and I've had other veterans come up to me. All the veterans out there, has anybody heard somebody saying that if you're a 70% or 80% VA disability that you don't qualify?
Yeah. We've heard that lie.
I got several clients that are 70 and 80. So if you don't get the correct answer, still ask people and you will find out, okay? So, what I'm trying to get at is don't take everything from Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. There are very good information out there, but you have to contact the attorneys directly, not representatives and whatnot. You got to contact that the attorney, get the information from them, get it in writing, and then go forward. It's too easy.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, if we heard you correctly, in a nutshell, and paraphrasing it for those that didn't hear, it is start with your immigration attorney.
Exactly.
It's fine to start seeing the excitement in regards to us YouTubers and content creators out there. But before you go and start gathering paperwork, start doing your FBI background check, start getting wrong documents, have your consultation first. And
when I came to,
go with what they said.
Exactly. Because when I came to Panama 10, 11 years ago, I didn't have the YouTubers and the TikTokers, and I didn't have the information. I winged it. And I'm not even going to go into how much it cost me, but it was a lot more than everybody's paying now. And this was 11 years ago. So thank God they're putting out the generics of the basis, and then you got a solid foundation to go off of. Okay.
Why do you think most people are afraid to just have the consultation with your attorneys to begin with?
Sorry, I don't know. It's because most of every attorney that I know, there's attorney groups, actually a chat group with all the attorneys on it. They don't charge anything for consultations. Call them all. Get a free consultation. Find out.
Just do the. Go ahead, Marcos. If you can slide it down.
I would say,
Go ahead.
very loud. You hear me? Yeah.
Well, still take it for the recording.
Um,
Marcos, take it for the recording.
Okay. Well, I'm loud.
Yeah.
There is a common behavior, not just American, everybody, any foreigners feel free of doing immigration process. There is an emotional part that people, especially if you decide to go to another country, you tend to react on the document situation. So it's not the actual, it's something related with psychological and emotional and the energy around the process. That's why I always say in CLP, okay, we do immigration process, we deal with documents, but what we want to provide you is peace of mind. That's what is important, because there is an important emotional part of doing the project. Okay, documents are fine, but most people have fears.
They have a fear.
I'm going to be denied. I have criminal charges from the past. What about all these issues? So that's why people, I'm scared to even to consult. That's my statistics.
And I would like to give a little bit more additional information in regards to this panel here. As you all know, we have this little YouTube channel that we have also a WhatsApp group. And these three representatives, and then with Adrian being also as far as estate planning, these are the most hired attorneys and law firms from the Butler Brigade. That is why they were invited. These are the most hired attorneys. The majority, and I actually looked at the demographics and I actually went through, 98% of the brigaders that are in Panama utilize one of you. 98%. And the 2% that didn't, they either processed citizenship, they did birthright, or they're using someone that I'm not being funny, we just have never heard of. And that's no disrespect to that person, we just never heard of them. So you all are of the brigade, somebody used you. As a matter of fact, just from this room, anybody that used any of one of these attorneys in your process, raise your hand. Just from this room. Yeah, there you go. That says a lot about your team. So this is not a debate. We're not trying to win you over to convince you that any one of these firms are better or worse than the other one. As far as we're all concerned, they're all top caliber attorneys and law firms because they've gotten the majority of us here. Okay? And Adrian, he's going to get the majority of you back to the United States once you pass, or your trust and estate planning. So they're all important. They're all very important attorneys. So I do thank you for that. So just in case anybody was unfamiliar as to why we're here today, it is just to bring you the best of the best. As far as we're concerned, this is the best of the best. This is the elite team. It doesn't get any better than this. So we thank y'all for being here. And it's not too many of us that can make a phone call that can say, bring me your A team. So I just want you all to know that they took their time out of their schedule on a Monday to come and be with us. So that says a lot. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To Ms. López, Ms. Ciria. Now, one of the areas that some of us are coming here for, and this is not to put you on the spot because I am deviating a little bit from my conversation. One of the areas that you all assist with is corporations and what we know in the United States as small businesses that have a different name here in Panama. I want to start with the fact that one of the most misunderstood statements is that you can come to Panama under a visa and work. Is that correct? Is there more to that statement? Can you expand on that just a little bit, if you don't mind? Or to Marcos? That's okay. One of the most misunderstood statements is that Americans from the USA think that they can come to Panama and just get a job and work. Is there a process to that? Are there certain visas you can do that under? Can you explain that just a little bit? And by way of Marcos, she's going to kind of tell him a little bit of what she would like to say in regards to the corporation or to work side.
Okay, well,
Microphone. Thank you. I know.
okay. Well, I mean, like any country in the world, we have immigration rules, law. Of course, you cannot work under a tourist visa.
Under tourist
One can
visa.
do it. So there is, I mean, there are different kind of programs that allow you to do it. Most American, well, I would say that American people understand quite well the rules about immigration in Panama. One situation that I seen on the Friendly Nations profile, which is people between 40 and 55, is that I'm coming to Panama. I would like to work. What are my options about it? Pensionados are clear. Pensioners, they know what they want. I mean, they understand the situation. The new generation, they think they're just arriving.
The ones that's arriving.
I'm allowed to do whatever I want. But not with American profiles. I would say another nationalities. Jamaicans, South Americans, Central Americans. Okay, I'm here in Panama. I would like to work. So your question is,
Can they work under, let's go with the two top ones, Pensionado visa and Friendly Nations visa. Can I come here and work?
Okay, now there's been a change in the law without the labor office. There are ways toward that, sort of get that permission under the new labor office. Americans can work when they have the cedula under the investment
Okay.
work permit.
So if they have a
So I have
cedula under the investment.
I have pensionados, they have the cedula already, and they say, you know what? I would like to work. Even though I'm a pensionado, just I want to feel active.
Okay.
So, but I want to follow the rule. So, okay, let's do an investment visa for you. You are allowed to do it. Before, it wasn't allowed. Now, with the new law, we have two laws right now in Panama regarding labor. We can do it, but you have to have the cedula.
You have to have the
You
cedula.
have to have the cedula. Okay? That's pensionado. Friendly Nations, different story.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
And then we're going to go ahead
I don't
and
think someone wants to share.
we're going to go ahead and segue to your question there, Marcos. So what immigration trends are you currently seeing among foreign residents that are relocating to Panama? What trends are we seeing?
Everybody wants to come to Panama right
Of
now.
course.
Very fashionable. Well, there is an increase of pensionados coming to Panama, especially the Black expat community.
Yes.
We know why. Strong effect. We have also a highly group of nomad visa kind of profiles.
Nomad.
I don't like to do the nomad visa. I will explain that later, but I always prefer to use the Friendly Nations program
Okay.
because it works better. Okay, it will give you a permanent resident. Another trend is people who come to Panama to invest in properties. I think you guys seen that. And also Panama being recognized as the most, the ideal place
to retire.
for pensionados. Well, this is the trend basically. Okay.
Marcos, do you feel that us content creators are helping people see Panama, or are we hurting people coming to Panama?
When I met you, I remember that I said to you, we need you here. Because what you created right now, your information is very organic. I always say that you are full frontal, normal, empathetic. I mean, we need that sort of information from a U.S. citizen. So far, I don't think we need you. I don't think you are creating like this sort of
Distance.
No, I don't. And I don't think the Panamanian society see you. This is what I think. I don't know if someone have that sort of, experience outside or in Panama, but I don't think the Panamanian society reacts like you guys are American and we don't want you here. I think it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
That we're welcome.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Panamanian society is very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Tamara. What should people accomplish during the famous boots on the ground visit before deciding whether Panama is right for them? Or if your husband needs to answer, yes, just whomever. I'm just saying the team itself or whoever. Okay. No problem. Thank you.
What a person should do when they come to visit Panama the first time. Enjoy.
Okay.
Visit Panama, enjoy, explore. Panama is very friendly. Right now, we say that Panama is very close away because they have a lot of community, a lot of meetings like this one. So if you are a foreigner and you don't know going there, it's very easy to make friends. It's very easy to connect with people. If you're thinking, okay, I want to relocate, maybe you can check areas, maybe you can contact with a lawyer, and those sort of things. For Panama, it's very easy to connect with people, make friends, make community. And I think before thinking or like making plans to move, you should be good at you need to check if you're going to be alone or if you're going to make friends and if you can find your space.
Go ahead.
Just going back to the trends question. A couple of years ago, we would do an intro call or something. And most of the people we spoke with had already spent significant time in Panama. They already had some ties here. Maybe they had bought an apartment here. They had a group of friends here. They were tapped in. Something's changed over the last couple of years. We talk with people every single day now who have never been to Panama, but they already have quite a bit of clarity as to which type of visa they want or they think they want. Maybe they've even started gathering their documents. Maybe they've even booked a trip. They're going to be here in just a couple of months, and they just want to fill in some gaps in their research. I think that is a little bit dangerous. To come in, just buying real estate in Panama. Panama real estate market is not an easy market to navigate, in my opinion. And even buying something for yourself, to really know which part of the city, which part of the country you want to be in, how many square meters, what's the square footage you really need, what's the real value of a square foot. It's a dangerous decision, but we see that's the overwhelming trend that you see, that I think we see. Yeah.
On the boots on the ground tour, and this is still to the independent lawyer, do you feel that while they are still in the US of A, and I know we touched over this with Will, to go ahead and do their consultation in Zoom or whatever with their legal team, and then if they're boots on the ground, once they physically get here, if they want to then shake a hand and see you face to face, that can be incorporated then. But there are so many people that I feel they think that I need to book an appointment to come see any attorney during that boots on the ground tour, and they're not taking advantage of the fact that we all have computers and phones now. You can book that while you're still in the US of A.
I think people should come during rainy season.
Okay.
It could be a deal breaker for some people. I think you come, stay in neighborhoods that you've been seeing, on YouTube. Come stay there. Someone goes to El Cangrejo, they're picturing Via Argentina, but Cangrejo is a bigger area than that. Not everything looks like Via Argentina.
True.
Right?
I think it's coming and spending time and looking around. Is this something I could really do? I mean, fortunately, apart from the investor visas, something like the pensionado is particularly affordable for people. So the damage of doing the residency process is probably is probably limited. But certainly coming and buying a $200,000 or $300,000 condo.
And you've never been here?
Yeah.
I take it you don't recommend that right at the jump.
We don't like to see people do it.
Yes.
We've all heard it. We see it on social media. It's easy to buy. Takes a long time to sell.
Correct.
That's it. And there's been a lot of hype in Panama real estate the last several years. There's been a lot of building. There's a ton of inventory. A lot of the hype is built into the pricing as well. So it's not easy. I mean, the best real estate Tamara and I ever did was when we bought a house and said, okay, we're going to live here for a really long time.
Yes.
Investment properties, we haven't been especially happy with our results there. And we live here and we're tapped in.
I agree. One of the things that Cedric and I continue to tell people, it's received and then it isn't received. We say the average person, when they first get to Panama, they will do 3 moves before they find their forever home or the one that they're going to be in a long time. And for some people to come here for the initial time and you purchase the first time, I hate using the word stuck, but you're obligated. That is now your house. That's your house. And that may not want to be your forever home. And
you move into an apartment in El Cangrejo and it's beautiful and it's amazing. Except when you move in, you realize there's a high school band that
there you go.
At 5 a.m. every morning. Or the street floods every time that it rains. That's something that you wouldn't have known without coming and having boots on the ground and spent time here.
Okay. Then I'm going to throw this one. This is off the cuff here, Will, but I just thought about this since you have a lot of the veterans that you can assist. Does the veteran ability of purchasing property in Panama extend to Panama? I'm not sure if it does or not. I was just wondering.
No, it doesn't. It's veterans and civilians, no offense.
Okay.
But, there's no, thank you, Mama.
It's something about those mic. The men don't want it to them.
This is my mother. But no, my own.
I think it was pressed off. It's okay. Come on, tech guy over there.
I'm little white button. Little white light should be on.
Is the white light on them though button?
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, first I wanted to stay on your the question that you said about earlier.
Boots on the ground?
No. When you were talking about with the influencers and stuff,
Yes. Are we helping? Are we hurting?
Yes. Okay. Who remembers Island Hunters, the TV show Island Hunters?
Idle what?
11 years.
Okay.
11 years ago, that's what I saw when I came to Panama. I saw Island Hunters. There was no influencers. I winged it. I jumped in my truck looking like the Beverly Hillbillies coming down to Panama. I showed up without a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I ended up flying back to the States. It ended up costing me back in 2016 approximately a little over $5,000 for me to get my visa because I didn't know a thing. At least with the influencers, you got a good idea. You know what's going on. You know the reality of what the cities, what Boquete is, what Coronado is, what Panama City is. And I went off of Island Hunters showing Bocas del Toro. That's what I thought Panama was. And so I'm booking it down here. I never went to Bocas del Toro until about 5 years later. So thank you for the influencers.
No, thank you. You appreciate it.
So now for the vets. So veterans, buying a house, same thing. We get them all the time. They will buy a house and they just arrived in Panama. We got 2 or 3 right now. And we're saying, are you sure? Because what we don't want is buyer's remorse. And that means next year, or if they buy, like, who was saying about the rainy season? Somebody was saying, what you see in dry season, and then in August time frame, I see houses being flooded.
Right.
It rains here, and you don't want to be miserable. So rent, like they were saying, rent for a couple of years and then pull the trigger. Do a 3-year lease if you really love that place and lock it in. Everything is negotiable in Panama. You can get a lease, lock it in 3 years, tell them to pull it off the market, or you're not leasing it, walk away, find something else, and you're good. And then at the end of that 3-year lease or beforehand, you're like, I absolutely love it. Pull the trigger and buy the place. Don't do it right off the bat.
No, go ahead.
The first question that you did about the common mistake
Common
is
mistakes.
also to purchase a property only see the photos that they
Photos.
post in the internet. So I always tell my clients, not because they want to hire me as attorney, it's because I would like to take care everybody's interest. Because the emotional feelings that he was talking about before, it have to be that you want to invest all the money that you have in one property here. But if you didn't investigate where the property came from, what is the paperwork, if the information that is in the public register office, it's matched with the documents that they selling to you in the agreement. So it's very sad that a person purchases a property and they find a lot of issues after that. So my advice to everybody is always review everything, the beginning from the end. If you hire an attorney, your attorney have to review all the documentation, all the sizes of the property, including the people they going to do the inspection and see if the reality is what you're going to purchase is what is in the paperwork. It's everything that I see in communities purchase property, seeing the photo without coming to Panama and see in person what they're going to purchase.
Exactly.
It's one of the problems that
Don't purchase
we find
sight
in
unseen.
this.
Just to reiterate, because I give examples. We had a client that purchased a property because the realtor was cute.
Because he was cute.
Because she was cute.
She was cute. Okay.
Purchased it sight unseen off in the United States, and then they called us after they purchased it. It took, you know who I'm talking about, but it took about a month and a half to clear the mess up because I went out there to the property. The property that was sold to them was not even the actual property, and because it was all done video. So you got to be very, very careful. Like everybody said, please. Due diligence, boots on the ground, be here a while, look at the property, make sure you know what you're doing, and your realtor or your attorney, will guide you the proper way, okay? And take their advice, okay?
Thank you.
They're going to look out. You're paying them to
The
look out for
protection.
you.
Right. All right, Adrian, your turn. So this is one area, Adrian, a lot of people in general do not like thinking about this part. One of the videos that Cedric and I did was how to take care of your remains, your body, your money, your trust, your estate, just whatever you're going to have to do, unfortunately, after you pass. I don't know what it is about that subject that a lot of people run from. I don't know. I guess maybe it's too grown of a conversation. They don't want to think about it. But unfortunately, or fortunately, we die. And if only most of us knew the day and the hour, then we could plan accordingly. But that's just not the way that most of life goes. It just doesn't happen that way. And as beautiful as Panama is, and as wonderful as a country that this is, we're not on vacation and just running around and going to live forever. So as far as the estate planning, let's go with the trust. There's a misconception that I have in particular, a USA citizen. I have a will in the USA. I have a trust in the USA. I have a death policy in the USA. Does that help them here in Panama?
Well, I know this is the tough part of all the conversation. That's why probably we are left at the end of the conversation. But definitely, it's very important that people know what's only truth for everyone. We're probably gonna die, all of us. So it's important that we have everything set up, especially if we're gonna be moving abroad, especially if we have family and we have assets that we definitely need to allocate, and we have like special things on how we want them to be delivered.
Okay, hold on right there, Adrian. I'm only telling, hate interrupting you, but I had someone particularly in our brigade that said, talk to me like I'm 5 years old. And I know attorneys have attorney language. Explain to someone for whatever reason they think asset means they're a multimillionaire, they have 3 cars and they have 5 houses here.
Yes.
What's an asset?
Yes, by asset, we define everything that you own that can be subject to ownership. Cars, if you have policies, any type of real estate piece that you have, cars, cash, jewelry, Everything. Absolutely everything that you can have or possess is an asset.
So let's stop there. Pause there. Most of us do not buy property here. We rent property, but we have clothes, shoes, TVs inside of our condos.
Exactly.
We have up to $10,000 or more in our bank accounts. Is that an asset?
Yes. Everything you have,
Okay.
like your clothing, your shoes. And something very funny that actually happened to me. Well, it's not that funny, but it's a story of the hard truth of why it's important to have everything set up before passing. I had a case of a family of two brothers that they were fighting over who was going to stay with the ashes of their parents. Like at the end they decided to split the ashes because they wanted to have part of that. So it's important that anything that you have is really like set up properly, and especially if you're going to be moving from the States, because like the regulations in Panama, according to inheritance and succession and everything, it's not the same as in the States. So back to the question of Cass, if you have, for example, a will in the States, but you never register that will in Panama, it's like you don't have a will here, because then you will need to do the whole probation process in the States, then to bring that sentence to Panama to formalize it. Then if you have assets here located in Panama, if they're not included in your will. So it's very important that you set up how you want everything to be managed and delivered.
Now, I'm going to break that down even further because I'm telling you, I had a lot of questions about this. Cedric and I are a married couple. I'm not going to put it off on him, so I'm going to say I pass first. I pass away. Said will that's from the United States, he's the benefactor of that will. Even with him here in Panama, are you saying that that American will has no legality here in Panama, or does it have legality if he's still living?
Yes, so as long as that will is not registered here in Panama, either your marriage is like you don't exist.
It don't
You
exist.
have a marriage here registered, you don't have a will registered, so you will need to do your whole process in the States. And the problem comes when you have assets here in Panama, because then if you pass and the asset is in your personal name because you don't use any other vehicle for asset protection, such as a foundation or a trust, then you will have to do a probation process here in Panama. And trying to prove that you were married to someone, or bringing a lot of documents from outside and having to apostille them or authenticate them to bring them here is going to be very tough, and it's going to make your process even longer.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, the will needs to be validated here in Panama with the trust and estate attorney, and many of the attorneys that are on the firm, that are on the table, they actually process that as part.
You can either file your will here in Panama, or you can make a Panamanian will. But for example, there's another structure that it's very used in the States, but it's very different to how it works in Panama, which is a trust. So what you have as trust in the States is very different to Panama, especially because in the US, you can be your grantor and you can be your trustee. So you can have the assets that you segregate to a trust in your personal name. But that cannot happen in Panama, because in Panama, for having a trust, you need to have a license. So it's a little bit different, and it's a little bit more particular on how you transfer that type of structure that you have in the States to the Panamanian jurisdiction and how it works locally. So that's why you need, also it has like different tax implications. So it's important you as American understand the tax implications that you have by registering things here and there, especially for the IRS. And also regarding citizenship, it's a very comprehensive analysis you need to do when you're setting up your estate planning strategy, because there is many factors you need to take into consideration.
So now let's go back a little bit to the even the financial part, because that's what most people I think miss. If husband and wife, okay, let's just go husband and wife, but let's just go even so much a single person, which is the number one group. The number one group of the relocation person in our group that we have is the African-American female that is unmarried or single between the ages of 55 and 65. That's our number one group that is relocating here. If they have assets, a bank account, and they unfortunately pass, what does that process entail for their loved one in the United States to claim their body, their trust, even get access to their condo. Whomever, go ahead, independent, whomever wants to take it.
So, okay, I want to touch about like 3 points here. First, the bank accounts. Usually, in a bank account, you can designate a beneficiary. So you don't need to do a will to designate a beneficiary in a bank account. You can say, hey, I put my husband, my friend, whatever person, 100%. Or if that person passed, we also can designate like contingency beneficiaries,
Okay.
divide it as you want. So for wills, if you have a will in the US, it's highly recommended to have a will in Panama for assets in Panama. Because a will in the US, it will come as a proof here, not really as a definitive things, a definitive. And you will have to go to probate. And what he was mentioning is also that we have 2 ways to pass your assets to your patrimony to your heirs. It could be with a will, or also you can do a trust here is called private interest foundation. And it works similar as a trust. If you put your assets from the beginning, if you're going to buy a property, you put your assets in a interest private foundation, you eliminate probate because the private interest foundation comes with a private built-in will.
Okay.
So you can designate, but by laws, yes.
The bylaws.
You can designate your heirs, how you want to divide the assets. For example, very common is, I am the beneficiary, and then if something passes to me, go to my husband. If something passes to my
It
husband,
keeps going.
yeah, you can designate, and this document is private.
Private. How long does it take, whomever would like to take it, how long does it take for your will to be recognized in Panama?
So
How long is that process?
creating a will is like 1 afternoon at the notary, but doing like the probate process, if nobody's fighting and everybody is like in line, the process itself can take about a year and a half.
In court.
In court. If nobody's fighting.
If nobody's fighting.
If everybody's
Did everybody catch that? I mean, did anybody catch that? Basically, it's an afternoon to get your will filed in Panama. She's basically saying it can take an afternoon. But if you don't have a will in Panama, that process can take a year or 2, and that's if no one's fighting, as Adrian said, on who gets the ashes.
Also,
who gets mom's painting, or who gets the,
The problem, the situation with the probate is, as Adrian was saying, the paperwork. Because you need to show why you have the right. And if you're the wife, you need to bring a marriage certificate. If you are a daughter, the son, you have to bring birth certificate. You need to show the link to that person, and that document has to be apostille. So you need to gather a bunch of papers. If the person didn't die in Panama, you need the death certificate. Also need to be authenticated by the Panamanian consulate or by an apostille.
Right. And these court cases are obviously being held in Panama, and you have to wait for the court date. You have to wait for these different things as you're going to have to do, and it can be a mess. And there are many of us that have first marriages, second marriages, adult children, second children, and all this that's what you mean by you're going to have to prove how are you related to this person to be able to claim this.
Yeah, how you're benefited. And the third situation or problem in a probate is the cost. According to the Panamanian table of prices for lawyers, how you call that? The table for prices. The recommended prices for lawyer process is 15% to 10 to 15% of the inherited mass.
Wow.
Yes. Panama doesn't have
a set price. Like a set
price, yeah. In Panama doesn't have like inheritance tax.
Did y'all hear that? I want to make sure everybody heard that.
We don't have an inheritance tax, so you will receive the assets free, but you will have to pay the lawyer.
In order to take it. So let's just go with, I have an account at Banco General. It has $10,000 in it. If I pass away, Cedric, if he's a benefactor on that Banco General account, he will then get access to that $10,000 as a benefactor.
Yes.
If I did not have a benefactor, he will have to prove his link to me by way of a marriage certificate to get that said $10,000. Now, as long as he doesn't leave Panama with that $10,000, there is no tax? Or is there a tax the moment they give him the $10,000?
There is no tax.
But it's more. It might be no tax here in Panama, but in the States, you do have inheritance tax.
Okay.
So if you're a U.S. tax citizen, it's important that you understand, as I mentioned, that it depends where is your tax situation current. Because if he gets that money to the U.S., he's probably going to have to pay when he presents his income tax return over those funds he received as a gift or as an inheritance. And following up what Tamara was mentioning, some other important thing for me, I can personally say this, is that there are certain situations, for example, for same-sex marriage couples, that since in Panama we don't have that recognized, you can be married in the States, but if you bring that to Panama with your partner, and that happens that your partner dies here in Panama, you cannot register your marriage here in Panama because it will not be recognized.
And let's even look at partnerships. So not even so much same sex. There are people that are just lifelong partners. They're just saying they're not going to marry legally.
Exactly.
I'm assuming it's the same thing.
Exactly, and they will not be able to register that here. So that's why it's important that they set up other vehicles. For example, for making medical decisions, you will need to have a medical proxy because if there's not going to be any other way, because you can approve a legal marriage here if here in Panama it's not recognized. So that's also very important too.
Go ahead, Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay, just only for help a little bit, okay? When the people who relocate to Panama decide to open bank accounts, the banks always, they got like a percent, what you can receive as a beneficiary. Over a percent that I cannot tell because the banks, for example, Banco Nacional told $10,000, you don't need an approval. So another banks, they require an approval after 1%. So it's very important to investigate what bank and who's don't require an approval. So second thing, when you do your process in Panama and you are legally resident in this country under immigration, you're not a Panamanian, you are legally resident. But if you open in a bank account and you change your name there, you decide to change your name because it's very common to see people, they say, hey, I did the process, but I changed my name. Now I have a different name, so I need to prove to immigration that I'm the same person. Or they change the last name. So you're changing very important information that is regarding if somebody passed away, the system or legal system required to know who was the person in immigration, what is the resident status, who is this person in the bank. So when you're going to do an approval, that I found that several times, when I'm going to do an approval, I need to prove who was that person from the beginning to the end, they change the names.
Before they change the name.
It's very important to talk about this kind of stuff because I respect what everybody's do. Everybody have a lot of knowledge in what they doing, and probably they do more than you think that they offer and they explain here they do. But we have knowledge in different part of the law. And then that's why I explain this to you guys because what I offer to explain in the process, I'm very happy to share experience, but I got another knowledge. I don't like to go in those details because I respect everybody's.
We appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to piggyback. I'm going to go to William. I'm going to go. No, it sounds like you have a question. Then I have one for you. No, go ahead. I have a question.
This is just to get off. This is a little bit different, but this is everybody.
William.
Who's single here? Okay.
Who's single?
Okay, ma'am. May I? This is just a hypothetical. Doesn't matter what attorney you use. If something happens to you in Panama, who are they going to contact? All three of you, any one of you. First thing that will happen, okay, this is an example. Remember, I use everything by an example. We had a client in Boquete. They passed away. No next of kin. Couldn't find anybody. Sent it to the embassy. Guess where that body remained for the past year?
At the morgue.
At the morgue. You don't want that. Make sure whatever attorney you got has the next of kin, because that attorney is going to be notified, because in that sworn affidavit that you fill out, it does who's responsible and has the attorney. So at least somebody can notify your attorney that, hey, this person passed away. Now the attorney can go through your file, find out your next of kin to notify them that, hey, well, fortunately, mom, sister, cousin has passed away. What do you want to do? Because now you got to go to the U.S. Embassy. You got to file a quota if you want to get the ashes, remains. Okay, so always think about that. No matter what attorney you work with, make sure they have that next of kin. Okay?
Yeah. I want to make sure everybody kind of heard that, and make because I know his mic was kind of going in and out there. Whomever you happen to hire for your attorney, this panel or anyone else, don't get so relocation happy that you keep moving around Panama and you don't update your legal team as to how they can reach you and who is your next of kin. One of the things that we did a video on, I'm going to sit here and say that Cedric and I are always right, but we are a lot of times. No, I'm not messing with you. On our refrigerator in Panama, as well as our refrigerator in the U.S. Why the refrigerator? Because if there was ever a fire, is one of the one things that they say, it just don't burn. My grandmama told me that a long time ago, but it's also one of the places that people come in. When they come to your place, they look at the refrigerator. They're not going to look in a filing cabinet. They're not going to look in your safe. They can't get in. So think about that. You need to be someplace that they can see. On our refrigerator is not only our immediate information, our own information, our e-schedule, our passport number, our phone numbers. CLP Associates is listed. Adrian, my neighbor, who's also on the panel, is listed because he has access to our condo. And then we have each one of our U.S. next of kins in the U.S. listed by telephone number and email. It's on our refrigerator. That is there, as well as bank account information, our passport, our phone numbers, this kind of stuff. Keep in mind, we don't have total strangers just walking in our house. So I'm not worried about anybody sitting there just reading that. This is for if there was ever an emergency. You have to remember, what if I can't talk? What if I can't talk? And if I can't talk, how is someone going to call someone on my behalf, and who do they call? One of the other things that we also did, for those of you all that happen to be single, is we replaced our front door with an automatic front door that people that we trust have access with a code on that door. If you are single, how does someone get in? Your body could be laying there, not being morbid, but it could be laying there for a minute before somebody starts to smell something and they go, this don't smell right over here. And most of us don't have that big of a group of people that we think we do. And that's just one of the things that we had added to our lease, that we were able to put in a normal, whatever door you would like to think of. Ours is a thumbprint, but also they have their own individual codes. That has come in handy many times that Adrian has been over to turn off stuff for me and different things that you're going to want that to be used. It's a door lock that may cost $130. That could be life-changing in regards to someone getting access to your condo. Even our law firm has access to my condo by way of that code. If they needed to get access to my home, they could. Just something to think about. Something to think about. Go ahead.
The embassy, the USA's embassy, they require from us to know basically when somebody reported somebody's back.
Mm-hmm.
The body could be in the morgue. Nobody has access.
Right.
Nobody has access. Take the body out. Even the embassy.
Even the embassy.
In USA.
Mm-hmm.
Because here the hospitals, they are going to release the body to nobody. Friends, nobody.
They want that to be very clear. We've had people that have passed. It was very much in about 18 months ago, a couple of people that weren't even here 2 months had passed away. It's just one of those things that happened. And what she's trying to make sure you understand is, even with a will, we happen to be U.S. citizens. We're U.S. citizens. As U.S. citizens, the U.S. someone cannot claim our body unless someone has actually registered at the embassy, which is called the STEP, STEP. You need to register someone with STEP. It's free. It takes 10 minutes of your time, 10 minutes to sit there and go, if I pass away, our next of kin can come claim our body. If you are a U.S. citizen, if you're whatever other type of citizen, I'm sure they have something similar. I'm not trying to talk for the attorneys, but as U.S. citizens, whoever's in the U.S., if your goal is to return to the U.S., that's the caveat. If your goal is to return to the U.S., how are they going to get your body? You need to have that registered at STEP. So we're going to do a couple of lightning around here. I'm going to end here first. I didn't ask William his question. What advice would you give military retirees? We have a lot of them in our group.
There is no VA in Panama.
Say that again.
There is no VA in Panama. There is no VA in Panama. All right, so because a lot of people, everybody that's a veteran knows that if you have disabilities in Panama, you can file before you come down or while you're here and get your FMP letter through the VA. That way here in Panama, like Punta Pacifica Hospital, Pacifica Salud, San Fernando, they will direct bill FMP for rated disabilities.
Correct.
That's what's on there. Again, they will not treat you like the VA, meaning you can go in there and say, I got a headache. Can you talk to them? And I'm not even going to go there. You need to register with FMP, okay? And then you talk to your caregiver at that hospital. And after you got your FMP, they got a list of disabilities. Yes, that, and they direct bill as of now. There are problems coming up with FMP and TRICARE. Some of the hospitals offer are not direct billing TRICARE anymore. I'm still with San Fernando. The last time I had a surgery that was non-military related, my TRICARE did cover. And that was a year ago, so I'm not sure. But there are some issues because what I've heard, this is rumor only, is there's issues with TRICARE and FMP or the VA paying. So how long this is last? Because remember, this is not a guarantee. It's something that that Panama is just willing to help out with. But right now, the FMP is direct billed, okay? And TRICARE, I believe, because I just talked to Mike Kelly, people that have been to Pacifica Salute knows Mike Kelly. There's some issues with TRICARE and direct billing. San Fernando, I'm not sure about. The last time I used it was, TRICARE was about a year ago, okay? So that's one of the big misconceptions. There is no VA.
No VA.
You're not going to go in there and get treated for everything and anything. We still get clients that think that. And I got to tell them, no, there is not a VA. Your VSOs, get with the American Legion. They have certified, or their VSOs are accredited by the VA. Everybody remembers the whole hoopla of, what was this, a couple of years ago with the certain entities that were overbilling and acting like VAs. I was caught up into that. All my medical records, everything, I was seeing them for about 5 years. When all that came under investigation, I didn't know. And then all of a sudden, I tried to get my medical records for other stuff. They wouldn't release me my own medical records. And I went toe-to-toe with them, and they were like, didn't matter. Yeah, so be careful who you're talking to. Now, but the bad thing is, because I want to be careful on this, because just because they're not a VSO, there are so many veteran groups out there that are so helpful, that are, like, what was it? Who's been to Daiquiri, what is it, Daiquiri 23?
Yes.
I haven't been there yet, but I've heard awesome things about everybody there that's helping. Veterans help veterans. We're all brothers and sisters. Amen. Right?
I have a question for whoever and then we're going to open up the floor for those who would like, but whoever would like to take this one. Say someone is here right now that has hired an attorney or a legal firm, that they're just not happy with the results that they're getting so far. And they would like to change their attorney to possibly one of you. What is the process, or can you change your immigration attorney as you've already started your immigration? Is there a process of basically firing them and hiring someone else?
Yeah, like, hello, you're fired. I'm going to the next one.
I mean,
there's no harm, no foul, right? So whoever, okay, I'm sorry, these are the attorneys.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and y'all don't be listening to William. Don't be listening to William. William, pass the mic. Pass the mic. Okay.
So yes, in any step of the process, you can fire your attorney. The new attorney will do a power of attorney revoking the last one, and you can just move forward. Of course, it will be easier if you haven't started the process, that your new attorney review everything and be sure that you have all the paperwork right.
Okay.
Because if you're not happy, for any reason, maybe it's not such a good attorney and doesn't have all the T crossed and all the
I's. Exactly.
all the,
How hard is it, or what would be the process, or is it an attorney to an attorney situation of getting your paperwork that you've relinquished to that attorney back to now your new attorney?
I will think, we have been in that situation a couple times, and usually the attorneys are like, okay, yes, here is your papers.
Okay.
I think one time, with a kind of famous attorney, she just ghosted us. The client came and said, hey, I gave her my papers 4 months ago. I'm super worried that my papers are going to expire. I need my papers back. We contact her. Was a lawyer that I know. She never after the first time, because she know me, so she said, hey, say, okay, is that?
Oh, wow.
She goes to me and never answer me anymore. And he had to request the papers again from zero. But I would say it's not the usual.
It's not the usual.
Yes.
And I think it's very important to add that sometimes, because I have clients that ask me, like, how easy is to get a refund?
Yes, that was going to be my next question. But go ahead and pass the mic, because that was going to be my next question. How easy is it to get a refund?
Well, honestly, I must be straightforward. It's not easy.
Okay.
Like, it will depend on the stage of that the attorney, what he did or what she did, if she already filed something, if she already prepared something. But like, if you don't have an agreement with them, because usually for these processes, you don't engage in agreement unless it's like a really experienced attorney or a really big firm. It's quite complicated to force them to give you a reimbursement. There are some other ways. For example, we have like the College of Attorneys that you can file a claim and you can file like a report for behavior and different things, but it's definitely
But at this time, your paperwork is still aging out. I mean, your paperwork still has a date on it. We have someone that was in the brigade that asked a question. Things happen. I mean, people unfortunately pass away. We just said this, as trust in the state, or they become ill and they're no longer practicing being an attorney anymore. How do you get your paperwork back? I mean, if the person is dead, I'm not being morbid, but if they're no longer in their office anymore, how do you get your paperwork back? Or do we need to be prepared that you have to start the process all over back in the U.S.? Go. There we go. That's the question. That's the answer I was looking for.
You know all that. So how many attorneys we got? And you got a firm. You have not necessarily who has to be efficient rates, but
do they have someone else? Go ahead, Marcus.
From my experience, I have like during May I have 3 cases with attorneys. They contact me because they say my attorney disappeared. That's the common. This is the common problem. I can't find my attorney. We submit the papers. I had the temporary ID, but I don't know. I don't get any answer. No, by email, WhatsApp, etc. Most of the time, there is a problem with communication between the lawyer and the client.
Okay.
So these 3 cases that I received, I sorted out, putting in contact these 2 people together. Like, just talk to that person. Just follow, what he wants. Most of the time, it's a problem with communication. Another problem, you ask how you can start a process if, the previous lawyer didn't work
out. Yes.
Well, depends when the process is. This is another situation. sometimes when you submit papers and it's approved, it's not that complicated to revocate, so to give another power of attorney. But most of the time, what I prefer or what we CLP prefer is just to go to the lawyer, the previous lawyer, and you know what, just give the answer that your client wants. It's easier.
It is easier. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to get new papers, and it's just we push to the lawyer to give the proper information to do it.
Okay.
Okay. It's not common in the pensionado kind of profile that we receive that cases all the time.
Okay.
Most of the time it's communication problem. I had 2 cases where the case were approved and the lawyer didn't contact the client. And I check on the system, on the official system, and I say, well, you are approved, don't worry about it. What you need to just to try to get your lawyer. There is another situation with the cedula. I want you to do the cedula for me, which is the final part of the process. And I say, okay, we can do it. There is no complication. So I think because the senior kind of thinking tends to complicate it, as I said,
Right.
for the emotional and psychological part of this process, that's the scenario. That's the problem.
Okay.
Not the document, not the process, etc. It's more the anxiety, the fear
Of what's going on.
It's like the complication.
So currently, because we've been hearing people in the brigade talk about this, due to the influx of us that's moving here, the process has gotten a little bit more longer and delayed than it normally has been in previous times. So correct me if I'm wrong, just speak at that. Thereabout, everyone who files their temporary pretty much has their temporary ID card once your attorney is assisting you within a week. Let's just go there. Within a week. Yes, everybody's nodding yes. Okay. The permanent ID, many have been talking in the brigade, is taking their about, after they get their temporary, about 4 months before they're coming back now to get their permanent. Is that everybody's kind of nodding yes on that one? Okay. And then if they would like to get their e-cedula, the cedula appointment initially is taking about 2 more months into the future after you get your permanent. Is that pretty much current times about yes or no? So, yeah, go ahead.
The criminal license website.
It's correct.
So you have to email them directly with a copy of your resolution and your session request, and a copy of your photo of your passport and your visa. And then you don't get the bid. They will email you back for appointment date. Usually, I think right now it's about 2 months.
Okay.
You don't get the bid.
So that needs to be known for people who end up going back to the U.S. That's a big one. If you're not living here and you now have your permanent and you're waiting to get your cedula, your attorney is not choosing Tuesday at 3:00. That's just when your appointment's going to be, and it might be about how much notice are they giving you for that appointment? Now about 2. They're telling you 2 months. Go ahead.
As attorneys, we might give everything really quick, the same day to our clients.
Okay.
So that we depend on the system.
It's just going to depend on the system. And if said person can't make that said appointment, I'm assuming then to get another one, you're back in the waiting queue again, and you're just going to start all over again.
You email them, and then they can tell you, okay, this is your appointment. And so if you're not in current station, you understand that. But you can't say, hey, Attorney Carlos, Attorney whoever, we want my appointment August 14th for the Eastern. It does not.
Doesn't work that way.
You're going to get the appointment, and that's your appointment date. And you let your attorney know. They'll have somebody there, show what you
All right.
want. Then for it, actually, push everything for it, they come back and pick up your
E-cedula. Now, the second part of picking up your e-cedula, just for clarity, an appointment doesn't have to be made on that. And how long can my e-cedula sit there before I come back and pick it up? Go ahead.
So, cedula no. Once you get approved for permanent residency, the regulator will issue a cedula no. That letter has a validity of 2 years.
2 years.
This issuance. So if you come and do your permanent residency and cannot do the steps that are right there,
Mm-hmm.
you have to manage. You have to be sure to go back and do it. Probably in a couple months, the webpage will be working again. It's not the first time.
That it has crashed. Okay.
It's not common, but it's not the first time. So it will, in some point, will be working. Will work again. Stella, someone can sit in a place after you take the picture.
After you take the picture.
For example, if you go with us and you are not here, could you take a picture and they could print it or have it ready to become in 5 business days?
Okay.
We get over here.
Okay.
So you don't have to see them. I never,
That happens a lot.
I never let a Stella sit there.
Just sit there. So that's hence the reason. That's hence the reason why your attorney is also your power of attorney.
We had a client that they came back from legal, I think about 2.5 years.
No.
And it was a pain, but, Carol had to get involved and go down there and get it cool and everything.
Yeah.
It's still that. Don't recommend that. Like I said, come back and get it up us or whatever.
Let your attorney know.
Personally, I don't do that because they hear and I need for somebody else. If I lose it, I will be a problem.
Okay.
Because it's a personal.
It's your personal. All right, so we're going to open the floor up. So we got about 20 minutes. If anybody has a particular question, if it's posed to a particular attorney, feel free to let that attorney know. But if it's just to the floor, say it. If you have a question, you don't have to be shy. I'm looking around. Right here. There you go, sir.
I want to direct it to, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but you were talking about ways for jubilados to be able to work. And you said that it can be done as long as you do an investment visa as well. I think that's what you said. I want to clarify that.
With jubilados, the way to work. In the past, it wasn't impossible to get a work permit as a jubilado. Wasn't allowed. Now, there is no work permit for, it's not called jubilado work permit. You can have a work permit as an investment person. All right? So you, with the cedula is the golden ticket for any kind of work permit. Of course, you have to fill in the requirement, but especially jubilados, you guys are eligible for the investment visa. Okay? Yeah.
You are eligible or
Eligible. You can do it, yes. You can have it. You have to have the cedula.
already. Now we also just need the investment.